William, what are you counting?
Judy, there are so many things that I have to remember.
What?
Things like the Garden Time Tour in August.
Okay.
Got to remember that. I've got 3 weeks until Subaru Garden Days. And then, of course, Mother's Day.
Oh my gosh, well we have something you can count on. Another episode of Garden Time.
Oh, great. Now that's 4 things.
Oh, you're right. Welcome to Garden Time. We're at Rare Plant Research, which is also the home of Villa Catalana Cellars, where we'll be taking a European tour later with Burl and talking about olives.
And speaking of the European flair, we also wanted to tell you there are only 5 spaces left on our tour to Europe this August. So, you know, it is a first come, first served basis. We hope you can make it.
And also, we're just 3 weeks away from Subaru Garden Days at Capital Subaru in Salem, so mark your calendars for June 2nd.
Also on the show today, we are going to show you a selection of plants for shady gardens that you just can't kill.
But coming up first, how to grow strawberries in a pot. I don't know about you, but I love strawberries, and I love to have them right on my deck. So I'm with Sarah from Portland Nursery, and she's going to help us plant up this huge planter.
Yes.
So what is this?
Well, this is a very large strawberry planter, but the strawberry planters have a unique trademarker,
Like
I guess what you would call it. Little cups so that the strawberries can come out and trail over the side, and you can get kind of maximum capacity for your pots. So this is great for a patio.
Sure.
Or anywhere, but especially like by the front door, you can just pick some off and eat them while you're coming in or going out.
Sarah, I noticed this PVC pipe, so what is that for?
Yeah, so this is a genius idea that our general manager had, which is to take a PVC pipe, cap the bottom, drill holes in the side, and stick it down the middle, so it helps to water a little bit easier. I know my strawberry pots I have trouble with watering sometimes. So this you'll fill up with water down the center. It'll evenly distribute into the plants because the tall shape really makes it kind of hard.
Very much. And so I saw a coffee filter too, so what did we use this for?
So that goes in the bottom of the pot to keep all of the soil from leaking out. Saw that on Garden Time as one of the tips of the week a few years ago, and we still use it. So
excellent. And really for slugs not to be able to get up too, because sometimes they
true.
can, and that's really bad.
Yes.
So what kind of plants do you have for us? What variety?
Yes, so I chose the Tri-Star variety of strawberry. I chose that because it's day neutral, which means that it's going to just keep producing a steady supply of strawberries, like a little handful.
And that's what you want, because I want to be out there all the time picking them out. And so when you come to the store, you might see this in a pot, and there's really multiple plants in here. It's not just one big plant.
Yes, there's 10 strawberry plants in there. And we have ours for $9.99. A lot of places sell them for cheaper, so you're going to get a way better deal if you buy them this way.
And look at all of them in there. So we just want to take them apart?
Yes, that's the _1 question I get from people is how do I get them all out? And I say it's really easy. You just dump it out, and once you do, they're pretty, you know, you can really see where the distinction is. You just gently kind of tease them apart and plant each one. If you were doing it in the ground, you'd want them about a foot apart. Okay. With these, you just put them in the holes and a few at the top.
Perfect. Yeah, they're really coming apart, and nice roots on those.
Yeah.
Very nice. So we kind of filled this up with organics soil from E.B. Stone, and you want to start at the bottom and go up. You don't want to fill it all with soil, correct?
Correct.
All right.
So you can get the roots down in there.
All right. Sarah, while you finish teasing out those plants, give me one and I'll get started. All right. So what we want to do is just kind of lay them in the cups and then push the roots all the way into the center? Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yep, and you're going to cover that with a little bit more soil.
All right.
So we'll kind of pot these up.
All right. And did you add anything else?
Yeah, we put some Sure Start, use that on everything, and then some slow release organic fertilizer.
Beautiful. So what we're going to do is finish filling up all these cups with the strawberry plants, and we're going to go layer by layer, and then we'll finish the top, and we'll be back in a couple minutes to show you. Sarah, now that was pretty easy. It wasn't taking that much time at all.
Yes, yeah, definitely now all you have to do is find a nice sunny spot, at least like 6 hours of sun a day, and keep it really well watered.
And then I noticed that you left a lot of room here. There's a kind of the soil is down from the lip of the pot.
Yeah, that's to keep the water in there as well, so it doesn't just run right off the edges. But then again, we'll water it down the center too. So
yeah, and really you have that nice target there. So it's nice that it sticks up a little bit.
yeah.
If you're interested in building this kind of container, or Sarah, really, you have other containers too.
Yeah, we have lots of different types of strawberry pots, and you can even do a hanging basket, I think we said.
Well, you can go to either of the Stark Street or the Division store. You can get your pot, you can get soil, and they have a wide selection of strawberries. So really visit them soon so you can have strawberries this summer. Thanks so much, Sarah.
Thanks.
Locally grown, fresh from the farm, stylish and sustainable, your dream yard starts at Owl's Garden and Home. Bring home the hues of summer with our gorgeous hanging baskets, grown locally on our farm. Choose from sun or shade combinations to instantly brighten up your home. Hanging baskets for a pop of color that brightens your home all season long. Owl's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and now in Wilsonville.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terra Casa.
Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside, there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terra Casa has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terra Casa.
Terra Casa in downtown Damascus.
DRAM is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. DRAM products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. DRAM for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Come to where the color is. Come to Egan Gardens. We've worked hard growing healthy plants for you so that your gardening is easy. Add sparkle to your garden with our perennials, container plants, and skillfully designed baskets and planters.
Need color for shady places? Come see our great selection of coleus, ferns, begonias, fuchsias, and of course, traditional Mother's Day fuchsia baskets.
Egan Gardens, where it's all about the plants. We're located west of I-5 at exit 263 on River Road.
I am at the beautiful Crystal Springs Rhododendron Garden with Red Cavender. And Red, we come out every year for this weekend because it's such a big weekend, but we need to talk a little bit about the history of this garden because it really goes back a long time.
Well, it does. It was first started in about 1954, and at the time, the whole area was nothing but a briar patch.
Okay.
And everything you see here, all the plants were donated by people from the Rhododendron Society and others. All the improvements, the walls, the bridges, everything you see here over the years has been done financed by the Rhododendron Society. And it's an ongoing project, and it's always changing.
Oh, sure, for sure. And really, it's a partnership between the city, too.
Correct.
And so, but really, the driving force is the Rhododendron Garden.
Right. The city owns the property, and we provide improvements and maintenance. Master gardeners, other volunteers help maintain the garden. Every Wednesday, we're always looking for new help.
So you can go to the website, and if you wanted to sign up to help out, you really get to enjoy the garden, too, while you're working.
Oh, certainly.
And so to talk to about when you can visit on Mondays is free, but if you wanted to come another time, there is a small fee.
There is a $5 fee, and that's only 10 to 4. Before 10 and after 4, it's free.
Well, really. But it's so nice to help support it in that small way through the fee.
Right. You know, you look at these walls and various things, they cost a lot of money.
Sure. Oh, I'm sure it does.
And so that's every dime that we take in from the sales and the gate goes right back into this garden.
And really, there's so many birds here too, so if you're a birder, you have to come out because we're surrounded by all kind of waterfowl today.
Oh yes, Audubon loves this place.
It's great. Red, really, this is a great weekend to come. It's Mother's Day weekend, there's lots of things going on, but really the blooms do last a little bit longer than just one weekend.
Oh yes, this garden will be in bloom for probably a month or month and a half. Really, it starts in late March and runs through early June. So every week when you come, it'll be different.
Yeah, and there's rhodys here that you won't see many places.
Oh, certainly. There's lots of big, and some of those big plants down there simply don't fit in the normal garden anymore.
They're massive. They are massive. So if we want to come this weekend, it's today Saturday and tomorrow Sunday, and you can bring your family to really stroll the gardens. But there's a sale going on. There's an exhibition going on.
Right. There's a cut flower show in the exhibit hall, and the parking lot will be full of rhododendrons plus 4 companion plant vendors.
That is nice because we get some ideas for our own gardens.
Correct. And there's no fee for the plant sale. There is for the garden itself.
Well, I think just a wonderful time to come with your family. You can walk around, enjoy the weekend, enjoy this lovely garden, all the blooms. Thanks so much, Rod.
Well, thank you. Glad to see you again.
So I'm standing with Thomas, and we are out at Seabright in their display gardens. And Thomas, today we're going to talk about some great plants for shade, some really dependable ones. Hostas, of course, have to be one, right?
It's hard not to talk about hostas when you're talking about shade. This is a really nice variety called Mount Tom, and I really like it because each leaf is really different in that the varying degrees of variegation on it. It'll get a bigger leaf than this yet, so this is a really nice quilted waffling on the leaf. It gets to about 3.5 feet tall and probably about 4 feet across when it's mature, so it's a very large hosta.
And we've talked about this before. You have it in a pot, which for big trees, lots of roots, bad soil, pots and hostas, great thing.
Yes, yes. The hostas in the pot is just wonderful because they look great in containers. They mound down, they partly cover the pot, so if you have an area where you've got lots of tree roots, you can put hostas in decorative pots, and when they're fully leafed out, you can't even tell there's pots there. It's just like just a
beautiful plant.
Yeah, exactly.
And then let's talk about one of my favorite ferns.
Okay. Yeah, there's one called Dre's Dagger, and it is fantastic to about 3 feet tall and has all these wonderful clusters of crests at the end of the fronds that look like tassels hanging out on it, and it can grow in pretty much full sun as well as full shade, and very vigorous to about 3.5 feet tall.
And do I remember seeing one of those in a pot as well in your garden here too?
We have a Cristata the King in a pot, but the Dre's Dagger beside it is in the ground.
And both of them are stunning.
They're wonderful, yeah, and ferns in pots are also wonderful.
Right. So now we have a couple more I want to go over and show people, so let's walk on over there.
Sounds good.
Okay, now I'm with Thomas in a different part of the display garden. And Thomas, let's talk about a hardy begonia here.
Yeah, people don't really think about begonias as being hardy, but this is one called Begonia grandis, and it's very hardy. Here it's been through 10 winters probably without any trouble at all. And it gets to about 3 feet tall, and what I really like about it is is the backs of the leaves.
Stunning.
This really gorgeous red, and the way it holds them on the plant when the sun is shining, especially when it's getting low in the afternoon, it's just spectacular.
It really is. And they have kind of a pink bloom.
Yeah, kind of a pink bloom. But yeah, you don't think about hardy begonias, but it's another nice texture, cool plant for the shade.
And then right at our feet is, I have to say, it's one of my favorite plants that's come around in a while.
I have to agree with you.
And it's Beesia. Tell me about this beauty.
Okay, this is Beesia, and it is an evergreen shade perennial. And I always think that it doesn't really look real. It looks like it's fake.
I know, right?
Or something that you've bought at a department store, as a plastic
as a plastic plant. It does.
But it's this wonderful evergreen foliage. And in the wintertime, the only difference between how it looks and how it looks now is that it gets a wide kind of a purple edge around the outside of the leaf. So it's spectacular year-round. And these are the little blooms. They're fairly insignificant on it, but still it adds another dimension to the plant. And it's an easy, super vigorous grower. Never looks bad. You don't have to really ever clean it up very much at all. It's just
and I can tell you that I've even grown it in hanging baskets.
Oh, that would be good.
3 years now, and it's stunning because it's one of the few evergreen things in the wintertime in a basket.
Yep. It can also be used as mass planted as a ground cover.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it. So if you have some shade and you might have some worries about it, go to gardentime.tv. We'll click over to their website. Come on out and get all the best shades you might ever want in your shade garden. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, William.
Over the 30 years that our family has been in the nursery industry, we've learned that anyone can supply a customer with plants and garden supplies. But it's supplying those plants and supplies backed by a knowledgeable staff that can transform a garden and take it from ordinary to extraordinary. That's what we do at Sagawa Nursery. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years, with the help of your friends at The Wall.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
Little Baja is your source for a whole lot of terracotta and concrete too. From bird baths and benches to Buddhas, bears, and fountains, plus the exclusive Baja chimney. We have an amazing variety of the finest in terracotta and concrete containers. Come check out our selection of statuary for any garden theme or setting. So for something for the garden, deck, or patio, come see us at Little Baja on East Burnside in Portland. Find us on Facebook too.
Would you love to grow an olive tree in your backyard? I'm with Burl from Rare Plant Research, and you're telling us we can have olives in our gardens.
We can. I started raising them about 20 years ago.
Oh.
They've been in the garden, and in our latest garden, they've been in about 7 or 8 years. They're absolutely wonderful. The main thing about olive trees is you need to make sure that you have well-drained soil, because they can drown if it's too wet, too heavy a clay. The other is, when they're small, they're not as hardy as when they're large. And so the kind of rule of thumb, if you have a trunk diameter that's about 1 inch in diameter, you may get a little bit of damage in the wintertime, but it'll be okay. Smaller than that, we recommend that you wrap it. If the temperature is going to drop below 20 degrees, then wrap it with a blanket or something, and as soon as the cold temperatures are over, then take it off. But 20 degrees for a small plant is no problem. It's just when it drops below that,
right,
and then it doesn't get above freezing during the day, that's when it's really tough on them.
And then what kind of varieties do you carry that are good for us?
Well, I have about, 8 or 10 or 12 different varieties. We really like one called Frantoio. It's a really nice producer, and there's a good ratio of the size of the pit to the size of the meat and the olive. We have a few Arbequina. Arbequina are really small and they're more bush-like. So if you want one in a pot, maybe Arbequina would be a good one for that because it stays relatively small. We also do an old-fashioned one called Sevillano where the olives get really big, and those are good to eat and to brine. We've got a French one, Aglandau, that's proved to be pretty hardy. In fact, in Eugene, it went to 12 below zero.
Whoa.
And it froze clear to the ground, but then came back from the roots, and we didn't think that was possible. That's really cool.
Amazing.
All of our olive trees have been to about 6 or 7 degrees here.
And should we plant two?
It's probably best if you plant two. A lot of them are self-compatible, but it's better. You can have better fruit production if you have two.
Well, that is just so cool news. And so to go to a different plant that we can have here, we have citrus that you're talking about, and maybe we can go to that other greenhouse and look at those.
That sounds good.
Great.
Yeah.
Burl, when you told me you were going to show me some citrus, you didn't tell me you were taking me to Italy.
Well, we're actually not in Italy. We're actually in Oregon City, and this is our other business, Villa Catalana Cellars. And so we have a lot of gardens here. We have citrus, we have olives, we have a lot of things to show you. So let me give you a tour.
All right. So now we're finally going to talk about citrus. So these are huge plants, so how do we do that?
Well, I cheat because I put these in the greenhouse in the wintertime. There is a variety, a Poncirus, that's actually hardy in the ground, but it's not very good to eat.
Oh, okay.
And the oranges only get about golf size.
But they're really cute.
But they really are cute. This one is Santa Teresa, but we also have Genoa, Eureka, and some Myers lemon. But you can leave them outside, especially right against the house where it's protected. And if you get some freezing temperatures, put it in the house and then put it outside the next day. You can also, if you have a really well-lit room, you can put it in the house about in October, early November, and then back out in April. But you will get some leaf drop with that.
Sure.
But when they get out in the sun again, they're right back and ready and raring to go, and you can make lemonade.
Well, I think we have to sit down. We need to talk about your event that's coming up next weekend.
Oh, yes, yes.
Look at this.
Well, can I pour you a glass of wine?
Please do.
Well, okay.
Well, one of the other bounties of Villa Cantillana.
Yes. So we're having our open nursery. It's a 1 weekend a year event, and it's actually the only time we're open. And the gardens are open, the winery's open, the nursery's open. People can come and taste wine. They can buy plants. They can stroll the gardens. Our chef is going to be doing lunch up here at the house, a buffet for $18. He also does custom-made sandwiches down by the greenhouse. So we also have a cutting-edge ice cream maker that makes some unbelievable flavors. And so you just got to come out and try it.
Well, you heard it straight from Burl. It's beautiful out here. You think you're in another country. Please go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to a Rare Plant Research Villa Cantillana website. You get the directions and all the other information. Thanks so much.
You bet. Salute.
Every year, Judy and I encourage you all to buy fruit plants and plant them in your own garden so that you can harvest the delicious fruit from them. And often, though, we have little predators that come in, those tiny little birds that we might think are larger birds that we think are adorable and charming, but then they end up eating a lot of what we struggle so hard to grow to eat for ourselves.
So to deter the birds from coming into your garden and eating the fruit that you want, there's a couple different items that you can get from your local independent garden center. So this one is called Scare Tape, and it actually looks like little mirrors on the tape, and you hang it into the bush or the tree. And so what it does is it reflects the light and it kind of just shoos the birds away. It doesn't hurt them in any way, but it just makes it not comfortable for them to come and eat the fruit. There's also bird netting, so you could just tent this over the trees or over the shrubs, and it'll keep the birds from reaching in and grabbing that fruit.
There's also a thing, we call it the big eye. I don't know what the technical name of it is, but you can blow it up. It's quite large, and it does kind of resemble an eye, and you hang that out in the yard where your fruit trees or fruit shrubs are, and just the movement of it tends to scare off the smaller birds. And then also there's these plastic owls. They're quite large, and those also work as a predator toward those small birds. It scares them, so if they see it moving around and the heads often swivel, that'll make them just be scared and fly off.
So these are just a few tips to keep the birds out of the fruit trees in your yard. You know, it maybe to be a better neighbor is to plant a couple more trees or a couple more fruit shrubs to share the bounty.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
They had to take the car, they had to get it open with the jaws of life, take me out on a backboard, took me to a Trauma One center. I absolutely feel like the Subaru saved my life.
Well, we trust Capital. We trust our salesperson here, Jackie.
Jackie's great. I believe that she really cares about us.
She teaches me about the Subaru.
Our way on the Parkway.
Since 1926, the Bonide Company has worked with homeowners to make their homes and gardens beautiful. If you have a garden problem, Bonide has the answer. Repel moles, gophers, and other ground-burrowing critters with Mole Max from Bonide. Clean and biodegradable, it's safe to use around children, plants, and pets. Visit Bonide.com to find a local retailer and to download your free Bonide Problem Solver app for your iPhone or Droid.
Build a beautiful home inside and out at French Prairie Perennials. Inside, we have just the right creative elements to complete your decor. We offer an oasis of unusual, nature-inspired garden and home gifts and accessories. Outside, choose from our wide selection of unique dwarf conifers and sparkling companion plants. French Prairie Perennials, located between Woodburn and Wilsonville. Take exit 278 to Aurora and French Prairie Perennials.
For over 100 years, Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts have provided tree and shrub care services to the Portland metropolitan area.
From large tree and small shrub pruning, tree removal, and stump grinding, we can handle all your tree care needs.
Our arborists diagnose and treat your toughest insect and disease problems.
We also have organic solutions for growing and maintaining healthy gardens, as well as organic nutrition for your trees and shrubs.
Collier & Bartlett, environmentally friendly since 1907.
Well, I can tell you, I am filled with joy because I am at the new Salt and Straw in Lake Oswego. I'm here with Tyler. And Tyler, we're going to talk today about this month's flavor, which is specifically flowers and ice cream. And I love that idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of my favorite things because at this point in the year, you know, winter is over and the freshest thing we have available to us is flowers.
Yeah.
And so being able to take that and actually use that as an ingredient and as an inspiration for the entire menu is one of our favorite things in the kitchen to be able to do.
So I have to wonder though, with the flower, I know, you know, because of being in horticulture, how do you get flowers? Do you dry them? Do you powder them? How do you make them get into ice cream?
A lot of these were grown actually specifically to be eaten. So they're organically grown, and actually there's a significant amount of edible varieties.
Right.
So some of my favorite, we get a lot of borage flowers, which are just beautiful, and they're super sweet, almost like have that honeysuckle flavor.
Yeah.
Some of these pansies are super delicate. The texture on them is really beautiful. So going down the list, there's so many available, and so using those both like as ingredients, but also as a star in the ice cream is really fun.
Well, and you know, Tyler, it's not like flowers haven't been used in cooking. I mean, we see them often in salads.
Right.
We see them on cakes after they're decorated. So, what was it though that made you go, yeah, I'm going to put them in ice cream?
Yeah.
Was there inspiration there?
Well, I think like just the intense flavors that are coming from some of these floral ingredients. So, I mean, some of the ingredients that we're working with, we can run you through.
Tell me about these.
The 5 that we made for this month in particular are really, really special. And we kind of took a few different approaches. So this one in particular actually it's a really simple orange blossom sorbet, but then we actually took these edible flowers and sprinkled them into the ice cream.
Because that doesn't look dried at all. It looks like
they're
a flower.
Fresh flowers, which is really cool. And the cool thing is, you know, flowers, their age is very short. You can really get 3 to 5 days out of it once you pick it. But because we're basically encasing it in a sorbet, its life is forever. It's almost like aging, or like preserving it in this ember of sorbet deliciousness.
Yeah.
And then next to that, this is actually a partnership we did with Stephen Smith Teas. They make this white petal tea, specifically with osmanthus. So we took a bunch of their osmanthus flowers and kind of made a really light custard-based ice cream out of that osmanthus.
And the brown one, what is that?
So this is actually one of my favorites. This is a partnership we did with Heart Coffee here in Portland, where I don't know if you've had their coffee. They're really, really good at selecting varieties and roasting them in very particular ways to bring out the super fruity floral flavors in their coffee, which is really, really inspiring for me.
And Tyler, the 4th one, what is that?
Okay, so this one is actually with a local honey company, where they harvest Be Local Honey. They harvest a honey just from wildflowers, which has probably the most intense floral flavor out of any of these ingredients. So that was the inspiration. That's the base of the ice cream, and then we make a kind of this walnut lace cookie with a little bit of ricotta and sprinkle that in.
And the last one there?
And the last one is it's a rhubarb with toasted anise ice cream. So we're taking fresh rhubarb and chopping it up and basically making almost like a rhubarb crumble. And then we take anise seeds and roast them really dark and get some of that like bitterness to come through to balance out.
So you really do inspire me because you use a lot of local flavors and help the local economy.
Yeah. I think it's important, and not only that, like for my creativity, that's the most important thing we can do in the kitchen, because it just allows our menu to constantly evolve and be the best it can.
And then I am pretty excited about this, which I know you must be. There's the potential of opening up a store at Disneyland.
Yes, yes, it's insane. It's so cool. I know, it's surreal. So we're going to be opening in downtown Disney later this late summer.
Wow.
So we're I know, it's the fabric of this country, you know, and so to be able to be there and become, you know, memories for children coming in and
from all
families,
over the world. I mean, that's very, very cool.
And just to have our ice cream there and be part of that is the greatest honor I think I could ever imagine.
Well, you know, I interviewed Tyler some time ago, and it is wonderful to see that his successes continue to grow, and he does it by creating amazing, amazing ice cream for people now all over the world. So for more information, as always, we invite you to go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website, and then you can find out all of the different flavors that are going on all over the West Coast now, just because of Salt and Straw. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Thanks. Cheers.
This is the time that all the lilacs are blooming, and did you know that you can bring them right indoors so you can enjoy them on your counter? So it's also a great time to prune your lilacs too, because if you do it right after it's blooming or while they're blooming, you're not going to damage any of the buds that'll be forming for next year.
And then what we're going to do is prune this off, and then you can always, I cut a little bit long when I prune flowers for inside, because you can always make it shorter depending on how high you need them in the pot. Then you take off all the other parts, and then we're going to give you the tip on what we call pounding the stem, right?
Pounding the stems, yeah.
And the reason we're doing this is because it opens it up more and gives the water more ability to be sucked into the plant, extending the life. So you just take a hammer and just kind of smash it out like that. It just opens the whole base up, and that gives you more water. And then all you have to do, stick it into the arrangement for more beauty.
And if you want to see a beautiful collection of lilacs, you have to go up to Hulda Klager Lilac Gardens in Woodland, Washington. It is just a stunning sight to see. So go up and take a drive and enjoy the beauty of lilacs.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery, where spring is our favorite time of year. It's the time to prepare your garden for planting. We invite you to get a jump on spring with our huge selection. Let Portland Nursery's staff of professionals help with groceries you can grow. We've got the seeds, veggie starts, and expertise to ensure your success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of classes and special events. Portland Nursery, helping make your backyard your favorite destination at 50th and Stark and 90th and Division.
When you plant your flower baskets and containers this year, consider Black Gold All-Purpose Potting Mix for the best results. This worm castings enriched, well-drained potting soil has a controlled release fertilizer to feed your plants up to 6 months. Black Gold All-Purpose Potting Mix now contains resilience for enhanced plant growth. Available at garden centers everywhere. For more information, visit blackgold.bz. All the riches of the earth.
Hi, I'm Burl Mossel with Rare Plant Research. We're a nursery and garden. You're invited to join us the one weekend a year that we're open to the public. You can tour our gardens and get inspiration for your own garden. We have 10 greenhouses full of rare and exotic plants. Enjoy lunch from a local caterer while tasting wine at the greenhouses. We will be sampling our wines from Villa Catalana cellars in the Garden Conservatory tasting room. For directions and information, visit us at rareplantresearch.com. Join us and get inspired.
The irises are blooming. The Shriners Iris Display Gardens are now open and free to the public. Surround yourself with a rainbow of color of over 500 irises. Or take a stroll in our 10-acre display garden. Smell the fragrance as you see iris paired with other beautiful blooming plants. Check out our cut flower display and pick up something for that iris lover in our gift shop. Take home a cut flower bouquet or order some for your own garden. We are easy to find. Take the Brooks exit off I-5 and follow the signs.
Color, color, color. When you think of your garden, think of color. Then think of Margie's Farm and Garden. High quality plants and great customer service are our trademark. This week, all our 6-inch containers are on sale, 3 for $15. Also join us for our free customer appreciation barbecue on Saturday. Vegetables or herbs, hanging baskets or perennials, trust Margie's Farm and Garden, just off I-5 near Aurora.
I'm in the beautiful city of Vancouver here in Washington, and I'm at Wright Irrigation Supply with Cindy. How are you, Cindy?
Good, how are you?
I am well, thank you, and I have to tell you, honestly, I really like the concept of drip systems, but when I see all of the parts, it kind of terrifies me, and you're here to tell us how it can really be quite simple.
It is. It is quite simple. If you're coming from a hose, there's two ways of doing it. You can either come from a hose faucet, or you can come off a standard sprinkler system, underground sprinkler system.
And so you can do both things, but let's do the one on the house, the faucet.
Okay.
How do you even start?
So the first thing you would need is a pressure reducer and a filter, and you can get those in an all-in-one, and this would just go right onto your hose faucet. The pressure reducer keeps things from blowing apart. The filter keeps things from getting clogged up. So from there, you're going to go to a 1/2-inch tubing.
Now, let me ask you a question real quick. On this, though, to me, when I hear filter, it means about, what, once a month you have to replace it, once a year? Really? Okay.
Don't even open it up and look at it. It'll act as most, you know, if you had maybe a well that had sediment or something, we might, you know, do something a little different. But this would be for your home
That's just
water
right out
supply,
from city water.
right?
Okay.
We're just,
okay.
It's kind of an insurance policy to make sure that no little, you know, sediment comes through or something. So once you've got that on, then you can use a fitting. These are called power lock fittings, and they're super easy to use. You're just going to push it on, and then back this nut over, and you're on.
Oh wow, that is simple.
Yeah, and you can undo it, so it's not, you know, you can work it off. This one I've done a couple times, so it's a little bit you know, rounded out, but it's still, they're easy enough to come off.
Okay.
You'll run your 1/2-inch tubing around your yard. It's best to go like along a fence line or along the foundation of your house or something like that, and then come straight out from there to your plants. You put end clamps. They also have 90s, couplers, T's. This is the end clamp, very high tech.
So when you, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Just
so
bend
then
it
I
over.
would think you just put one side on,
Slide
and then fold it around.
Yep.
And put okay.
Very easy to do.
That is simple.
So super easy. From there, you decide what you want to water. So most of the people are going to water shrubs or what have you. You can do hanging baskets, patio pots, vegetable garden rows, hedges.
Well, that
you know,
which begs the question to me. You have all of these little parts that have colors on them, which I'm going to assume have something to do with water dispensage, how much you get from each thing. How do you even know that? I mean, how do you come up with what needs what?
It's pretty simple. The emitter basically is determining how much water gets past it in an hour.
Okay.
So everything is gallons per hour.
Okay.
And I recommend you usually run the system a 1/2 hour a day. So the emitters come in everything from 1/2 gallon an hour up to 24 gallons an hour.
And that is by color.
And that is by color. But that, you know, sometimes it's a little intimidating. But generally what you do is you use the 1/2, 1, and 2 gallon most.
Okay.
The 1/2 gallon would be for hanging baskets and patio pots, small things like that. Maybe tufts of grass that really don't want much water.
Okay.
The 1 gallon an hour would be for small shrubs like azaleas or heather or something smaller. And then the 2 gallon would be for larger shrubs like camellias or rhodies.
And how do I know
that
that shrub would want 2 gallons or that pot would want 1 gallon? How do I figure that out?
Well, if you're not sure, then what I recommend is just take a 2 gallon watering can, fill it up, go out there and put on it what you think it should have in 1 day. So I recommend 30 minutes a day. So put on it what you think you're going to get in 1 day. Then you see, oh, I put on 1/2 of the bucket, you know, so that's 1 gallon an hour. So in order to get 1 gallon on it a day, of course, we're going to double that because we're only running it
For
a 1/2 an hour.
See, that is simple.
It is. It is. A 1/2 an hour makes your math easy. You know, you just double whatever the size is of the gallons you want on it. Everything can be taken apart and put back together again.
I like
it's like
that.
a Tinker Toy set. You just, if you aren't happy with the gallon you put on it, just change it to something else.
But let's say something occurs, a plant dies, or you add another one, or you redo a thing. You've already poked some holes in this, so then what do you do?
Not a problem. This is a plug, and so you just pull that out, push a plug in.
And it looks just like this, and
looks
then you
just like
just
that.
plug it in there. Okay, so
Just
then
push it in.
It really is. You can constantly change this whole system as your yard changes.
Sure. And you poke the holes in with a tool here, excuse me.
That's fancy.
And they're easy to use.
Oh, that is easy.
It's done. You could take a coupler, just stick it in, stick it in the back. This just holds it a little so your hands don't get hurt, you know, when you're pushing.
And you pop it in.
You're in, and then you start putting your tubing on, and you're off and running. It's super easy to do.
So now, what if I want to run some of the hose along my fence or maybe on my patio for the hanging baskets?
Sure. There's clamps with nails that you can
Easy.
use on the 1/2 inch, on the 1/4 inch.
Nice.
You can, after running it up along your patio or something, you can paint it.
Nice. So you don't even really see it then.
You don't even see it, yeah.
And what about those places in your yard that might need a little bit more, like a regular pop-up sprinkler type thing?
There's sprayers so that you can use, there's a variety of different things you can do for sprayers. There's pop-up type things. These pop up, use regular sprinkler heads, but they're all still 1/4 inch tubing.
And they all work off this same system, right?
Yes, they all work off the 1/4 inch and the 1/2 inch tubing. These you just put together, you know, you put them together yourself, so you decide what kind of topper you want on them to do a 1/2 circle, 1/4 circle, full circle.
And Cindy, what about those things like in the fall we're supposed to cut down watering on tomatoes so they ripen up better? What about shut-off valves?
Sure, there's shut-off valves in both sizes, so if you want to do the shut off your vegetable garden because you've already harvested, or cut back on the water for your tomatoes, you know, anything you want to just isolate.
And then what about vacations? I mean, if you just took this right up to your faucet at home, what do you do?
That's the best part. Just put a hose in timer on it, you know, hose bib timer.
Sure.
And you never have to go out in your yard again.
Well, you know, I have to tell you that it really was intimidating to me when I first started thinking about this kind of system for watering. Well, you can go to gardentime.tv and click over to their website and see wonderful things like this, or better yet, come out and talk to Cindy and the staff and really get all the information you need to use your water wisely in your garden with a drip system. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Sure, thank you.
No matter what shade your green thumb is, you can find the plants and the help you need at Wavra Farms. We're filled with an astounding array of colorful plants to fill your garden. In addition to wonderful annuals and perennials, we are known for our hanging baskets. We also have all your garden essentials, and we have great garden gifts too. From beginner to expert, you'll find something new and different with every visit. Wavra Farms, located off Highway 22, exit 5, east of Salem.
Peonies, bold and beautiful, an old favorite, but ever new, and perfect for your garden. At Adelman Peonies, you'll find hundreds of different peonies, bush, ito, and tree peonies covering 20 acres. Come stroll the display garden, then find a special plant or bouquet to take home. Join us any day of the week for beautiful color or weekends for special events. Adelman Peonies is just east of I-5 at exit 263 on Brook Lake Road, or online at peonyparadise.com. Nothing is more inviting than a garden full of beautiful clematis, and your chance to see the Queen of Vines is during the Inviting Vines Garden Tour on Saturday, May 26th. Tour 4 private gardens in the Lake Oswego West Lynn area, then end your day at the Rogerson Clematis Collection at Lusher Farm. This year we're also offering 2 special ticketed breakfast and tea events. To find out more and where you can get your tickets, go to rogersonclematiscollection.org.
DRAM is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. DRAM products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. DRAM for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
The health and beauty of your garden starts from the ground up, and healthy soils begin at Grimm's Fuel. For the best in garden mulch, blended soils, and bark dust, choose Grimm's. U-Haul delivered or installed, Grimm's can do it. And if you're looking for a new lawn, Grimm's can do that too with our special lawn installation service. Grimm's is also the area's largest recycler of yard debris. The foundation for a healthy garden begins at Grimm's Fuel.
Surround yourself with wonderful color this summer. It's time for the annual spring sale at Hydrangeas Plus. Hydrangeas are the perfect plant for any garden, large or small. We are cleaning out our nursery, so come and take some plants home to your garden. We're offering special once-a-year pricing on nearly everything we grow. Also, check out our selection of grasses and other blooming perennials. It's the annual spring sale at Hydrangeas Plus.
So I am standing with Linda Butler at the Rogerson Clematis Garden, and we are in back of a beautiful sign. Tell me about these and give me some information on them.
Well, for many years we have wanted interpretive signage so that everybody would know why we have put the clematis where we've put them.
Right.
And so this year we got 2 grants that we were able to use together to produce 2 big welcome signs like this. One's at the back of the garden, and then also smaller interpretive signs that are about half this size, so that as you move through the different areas of the garden, you know what you're seeing and you know why you're seeing it.
And it's great too because, you know, in fact, even your new pamphlets have the same kind of map.
Yeah.
Maps are fun.
New brochures.
Yeah, and they give you a direction, and then with the new signage, you even get more information at each place that you see them.
Right. Every bed is numbered, so you can go through with the brochure and coordinate with this, and then every time you go into a new area, it tells you what beds are part of that area so that you know
exactly
what you're seeing and why you're seeing it.
And that's really good because you have some stuff we're going to talk about for the whole collection. So let's walk over, get to that collection, and go over that.
Okay, well, what we're going to talk about is we are now a nationally accredited plant collection.
Right.
We're the only accredited clematis collection in North America. So this is done through the American Public Garden Association, and it's been a 9-year process.
So what do you say we go look at some clematis now?
Yeah.
Okay, Linda, now we are in the Founders Gardens, which we have a wonderful sign for
Right,
now.
right.
And then also, you know, I know that you have received this great accreditation, but explain what that means.
Okay, so the signage, of course, tells us why this is the Founders Garden. This is where Brewster's favorite clematis were. The accreditation, which is all over North America, public gardens that have important collections of plants that are advertised, so it's a whole marketing thing. And it also makes us a focus for research. So somebody who wants to do research about clematis can go say, oh, I can go to this place and I can see a huge representation of the genus. And it also means that we know exactly what we have and we know where it is.
Because there's a lot of responsibility now behind the scenes that has to happen, not only just a beautiful garden to look at.
Right, so this is me as curator maintaining the database and being able to share that database with anybody who wants that information.
And Linda, I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the upcoming Inviting Vines tour, because then people can see all this if they haven't before.
Yes, so on the Saturday Memorial Day weekend, and this year it's the 26th, we are having our annual Inviting Vines event. And so we have 4 private gardens open in Lake Oswego and West Lynn, very close by, and then all access to the clematis garden all day. So we'll have docent-led tours, or people can come and get their brochure and walk through. But we'll have plants for sale, and we have, for a special ticketed price, you also get breakfast with Lucy Hardiman talk and tea with me in the afternoon. And we're going to be talking about the heirloom clematis, because that was the first part of the garden that was planted.
And where are people going to find these tickets at?
Oh gosh, Garden Fever, 70s, Lake Oswego 70s, Zero Plants, all kinds of, and online at rogersonclematiscollection.org.
Well, there you have it. So this is a beautiful garden. You're going to love being out here. You can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website, grab that ticket, and make a plan to spend a day in the beauty of a clematis. Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you.
Since 1987, French Prairie Gardens has brought you the best in farm fresh produce, beautiful plants, and memorable family events. Spring is here, and now is the time to get your garden ready with our wide selection of bedding plants and hanging baskets. Experience the best the country has to offer at French Prairie Gardens.
Standard TV and Appliance asks, what do you want in new appliances?
Do you want GE's gas, electric, convection, induction, stainless steel, Slate, French door, Energy Star, top load, front load, high efficiency, or huge capacity?
I want it all. Yeah, I want everything.
Refresh and save with GE Cafe. Upgrade your kitchen and save up to $1,500 when you buy 4 GE Cafe appliances. Standard TV and appliance.
Extend your growing season and escape to your own garden retreat in a Solex greenhouse from the Greenhouse Catalog. There is nothing like the taste of a bright, red, juicy, homegrown tomato. The bright, warm, durable design of a Solex greenhouse provides plenty of room to nurture your plants and enjoy your passion for years. Choose from 5 Solex greenhouse models or build your own with Solex panels. For all your gardening, greenhouse, and specialty growing needs, visit greenhousecatalog.com or give us a call.
Hey everybody, I'm Brian Bauman from Bauman's Farm and Garden, and I just went to check the hanging baskets out at my mom's house. I wanted to take a second to give you some tips and tricks to make sure that your hanging baskets stay watered and fertilized throughout the entire summer. To start with, every hanging basket from Bauman Farms, we give you a water-soluble fertilizer that comes with your basket. At the farm, we fertilize our baskets 3 to 5 times a week. And I understand, I don't have time to fertilize my mom's hanging baskets 3 to 5 times a week. One of the tricks is to take a time-release fertilizer. Now I get it, this is not a fancy looking bag, but what we did is we have a specific blend of time-release fertilizer that we like to use that we've bagged up and put just for you. So we're gonna take about 2 tablespoons of this and put it in the top of the hanging baskets. So we want to take that fertilizer, the time release, and put it just on top of the soil. So that way, every time we water the basket, it's going to give a little bit of fertilizer into it. But that's not enough. So what we need to do is take some of this water-soluble fertilizer. We're going to put 1 teaspoon of this into a gallon of water and then water our hanging baskets. Now that we've got our fertilizer all mixed up, people always ask me, how much water do I put in the hanging basket? And the answer is, we're gonna fill it up until it starts coming out the bottom. Well, that one took almost a full gallon of fertilizer to water that hanging basket. And to answer the question, how much water do you give? You keep going till it starts coming out the bottom. And that may go up or go down depending on the weather outside and how big your hanging basket is. But keep going until that water comes out all the way out the bottom. Remember to fertilize your hanging basket a couple times a week. I try and water mine every morning to stay in the routine. For more helpful information, go to www.baumanfarms.com.
Nestled in the oaks of the Willamette Valley is a nursery that is truly exceptional. At Out in the Garden Nursery, you will find a vast array of shade plants, ornamental grasses, and hardy perennials. Let us help you bring color and texture into your garden. We offer over 100 types of perennials. Many of our plants are evergreen for year-round interest. Plus, we offer the best in personal attention. Out in the Garden Nursery, where we grow great gardens 1 plant at a time.
At Garland Nursery, you'll find
top quality plants,
4 generations of garden know-how,
fun and fantastic garden decor,
and the best in garden supplies.
Come visit us at Garland Nursery.
Since 1937, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
So on this beautiful morning, I am actually standing out in front of what used to be the deck of the producers of the show, and they decided it was time to maybe redo it. And so I'm here with Josh. And Josh, which company are you from?
Northwest Outdoor Living and Renovation.
And so you might remember recently Judy had done a segment on going to a place and picking out the type of wood. She picked Fiberon, right?
Fiberon decking, yes.
And so why? What's the purpose of that for us?
So the benefit of choosing a product like Fiberon is that it's a synthetic. There's no exposed wood fiber like the cedar deck that was here previously. So you're not going to have the mildew staining or the tendency to get the mildew staining on it. You're not going to get the as much of a propensity for algae growth on it. Yeah. It's not going to have a 10-year shelf life like a typical cedar deck that we have today.
And so once a homeowner says, okay, this is what I want to buy for my new deck, and they think, I'm going to jump right in there and just do this myself, I I can tell you right now that knowing the producers for many years, I know they took care of this old wood deck.
Absolutely.
They sanded it, but you didn't find it was good underneath, did you?
For a 25-year deck, they got a great shelf life out of it. So, you know, that was pretty typical of cedar in the past. Old growth cedar would have an average lifespan of between 20. If you really pushed it, I've seen it last 30 years, but 25 years is a pretty good life. So.
And then when they decided not to go ahead and do it themselves and get some help, outside of not knowing what they thought the top was stable, but really often it is the underneath part that goes bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty common misnomer. A lot of people look at the top surface of the deck and don't understand with the average wood deck, water's penetrating through the deck, it hits the floor joists, and then what has a tendency to happen is the water's going to sit underneath the deck.
Yeah.
And so even though the top surface seems like it's in great shape, and of course that's what we're treating, that's what we're staining.
Right.
You know, the average person is going to take a look at that and think, oh, it's in great shape. We've only got 1 or 2 rotted boards. We could replace those and refinish it. And what has a tendency to happen is you're seeing a small fraction of what's going on with the deck. So,
and you have seen this before, haven't you?
Oh,
when you go out,
absolutely.
People have all the best intentions, but then they get into it, and it almost always tends to be worse than what you think it's going to be.
It's almost always worse than what you think it's going to be, absolutely.
So Josh, your crew actually came and tore this one out completely.
Absolutely.
But that's actually a good thing to do, isn't it? Because that helps with the reinstallation and what needs to be done.
What allowing us to come out and tear the deck out did was allow us to get good eyes on the ground right now before we order the material package, so I know what we can do to put as much framework into the deck as possible. A lot of people want to tear the deck out, and if the average homeowner, you know, wants to jump in and do it, more power to them, great. That being said, by getting us out here, there's some things we were able to do, not because this is rocket science in any way, shape, or form, but because there's some tricks of the trade that we've learned over the years to make this go a lot more efficient, not only from a tear out and disposal standpoint, but also from taking care with the house, not damaging the siding, ensuring that we're gonna have everything prepped and ready to go for the new ledger board, seeing what kind of actual heights we have. In this case, you can see we've got a concrete patio that was coming off of the back of the house, which is fairly typical. That's going to dictate what we do with post and beam, with the type of footings or blocking that we put in it. So it allows us to get a good understanding of what it's going to take to put the deck back together.
Perfect. Well, you know, I'm a big fan of doing it myself. I get out there and I think I do it, but there's often times when I jump into a project myself, Josh, and I think, oh, I don't want to do this. So I get help, and you know, what we're going to do is we're going to take a while longer, maybe a couple weeks. We're going to come back when they're actually installing the fiber on, and then you're going to see the whole thing going together and seeing how it's done. Josh, I really appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We want to thank you for watching, and don't forget that the big event at Rare Plant Research is happening next weekend, and you can also walk around the beautiful European-style gardens at Villa Cantillana. And speaking of Europe, there's only 5 more spaces on the Garden Time Tour happening next August with me and William.
And we also wanted to remind you that it is only a mere 3 weeks away until Subaru Garden Days happening June 2nd.
And you know, it's Mother's Day weekend, so we wish all the mothers a very happy day.
Thank you all for spending time with us today, and we can't wait to do it again next week, right here on Garden Time. Judy, what are you doing?
William, I'm trying to find gardening events in my area.
And you're having a hard time doing that?
I am having a hard time.
You know, all you have to do is go to gardentime.tv and look at the events page.
Ah, that is great news. So if you're looking for gardening events in your area, just go to gardentime.tv.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.